my name is Marian. I'm from the blog Miss Mustard Seed.
And I'm Kriste. I'm from the blog Rosemary and Thyme.
And this is Design Ramblings, where we talk about anything and all things design related. And today we're going to talk about painted furniture. Because I think, well, first of all,
it's her favorite thing.
It's kind of my thing. I know it's a lot of people's thing these days. And I found that it's always like a really hot topic on my blog. That there are some people who are really
against it.
I mean, they will tape themselves to the front of one of my dressers, I swear, before I paint it, if they had the opportunity. So I thought we should talk about it. So I think a few of the things that are said about it is, one, that it's a trend, it's just a fad right now, and so I've read people, some comments that people have left saying, like, I just can't wait till this trend is over. Or there's the idea that you're going to devalue a piece if you paint it. Like that you're going to ruin it. It shouldn't be painted.
Right.
So what do you think? No, there's this truck that we can't even see it. We can't see it, but we can hear it, and it's really annoying. It's worse than the train. Okay, so what do you, I mean, obviously you're cool with painting furniture.
Right.
Or we wouldn't.
No, I'd be fired.
I would
have no job.
We'd have some issues.
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't really, but it's good that she's on board. We're sort of kindred spirits in most ways.
So I'm not like sitting there being like,
yeah, she'd be the one like taping herself to the dresser. Don't do it! Oh no! So, anyway, the truck has made us it's like deteriorated.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the whole painted furniture thing? First of all, do you think it's a trend?
I don't think it's a trend.
Or like a fad, maybe?
Yeah, I would say it's a fad in that a lot of people are doing it, and you're seeing it a lot on social media and on Pinterest and that kind of thing. But I don't think it's a trend where it's going to go out of style.
Yeah.
I think it's something that a lot of people have been doing for years. I mean, I remember my mom sitting outside on our patio, like, you know, scraping away at the paint or at the old furnishing, and then, you know, repainting it. And, I mean, that was years ago. So I think it's something that's going to, you know, kind of continue on. I think the reason why it feels like a trend right now is because it's so accessible through Pinterest and Facebook. You look everywhere and people have, you know, businesses or are just doing it at home. So it feels like something that might be like a fad or a trend, but I think it's something that's been going on for a long time, and something that's definitely going to continue, especially as people can learn how to do it themselves. It's just going to continue to grow.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Because there are always going to be people who, you know, you're newlyweds or you're in a college dorm or something and you want a cute space, but you don't have a lot of money, or you've inherited a lot of mismatched pieces, so you're going to find a way to make them all unify. I remember in college, actually, my roommate bought a bunch of stuff from a thrift store with her mom, and they reupholstered the sofa and a chair to match and made pillows and painted all these pieces. Like, it was really fun for me to see how they brought all these mismatched pieces together, and it looked really cute.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been around for a long time, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And I agree with Kriste that you're just, the blog world and Facebook and all has made it more possible for people who have been doing this anyway to turn it into a business.
Right.
And they can find their audience through social media or through their blog. So I think that's why it's sort of taking off.
Definitely.
I think I've found that I do prefer painted furniture now. I really do like how you can choose your own color, whereas with wood, it's either, you know, brown or orange or reddish stain. You know, you're working with stains. You can always do like a gray stain or white stain, but even that's not typical for older furniture.
Right.
So I think I like that you can get other choices when you get into painting. But I love wood furniture, and I think people who paint furniture sometimes get labeled as like, you're a wood hater, and it's like, I'm not. I love real wood.
Yeah.
I only buy real wood furniture. I don't buy particle board or press board or any of that plastic. I just buy real wood furniture. So the reason why I do that is because if ever you do want to take it back to the real wood, you can. You just strip it down. So Now I am making that person's job a little bit harder by adding another layer of paint to the mix. But I've stripped off my own paint before.
Right.
So, I mean, it can be done, and you bring it back to the regular wood. So you're not doing anything to the piece that's going to ruin it or destroy it or anything. And I think one of the other things that people often, I guess, get confused on or maybe is misunderstood is the statement that painting an old piece is going to devalue it.
Right.
And I've heard that for a long time. And I remember just a few months ago, I posted a piece on Facebook that I was going to paint. And it was like a pretty typical, maybe a 1930s kind of dresser. And it looked nice, but it just wasn't my thing. It had some weird grain, like that grain.
Yeah.
When they have the graining in like a pattern.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
A little mid-century modern, but still had the turned legs of the 30s and all that. Anyway, so it just wasn't my thing. And I posted it saying I was going to paint it, and the comments that came from that, you would think I was, I don't know, going to throw it in a bonfire or something. Yeah. People were just horrified that I was going to paint it. And a lot of people said, you're going to devalue the piece. And it's like, well, this dresser was $30 from Craigslist. Right. So I'm not going to it's not worth a lot right now. We're not talking about a 17th century piece in pristine condition or a 100-year-old hutch with the original milk paint on it. We're talking about a piece that isn't that old and that really doesn't have much value in and of itself.
Right. And I think we both have pieces that we would hate to paint.
Yes.
I know for myself, I have a hutch. I got a hutch for my 21st birthday, which, real wild.
You want to
child,
go to a bar, or do you want to get a hutch?
That's what I wanted, and my parents got it.
Good for you. So, 21-year-olds. You should be getting pieces of furniture.
But, I have not been able to bring myself to paint it for whatever reason. And, everyone has specific pieces where you look at it, you're like, oh, I just don't want to paint it. And, that's okay. I know Marian has some pieces like that. And
oh, yeah, I have some pieces I'll never paint. We have a dresser in the studio right now that's a beautiful Empire dresser. The graining is beautiful. It was really cheap. I got it for really cheap. But I'm just having a hard time painting it.
It just sits over there.
It's been there for a few months now, and I'm just like, I just can't. It hurts. It hurts me.
It does.
It does. It hurts me to paint it. So I probably will end up painting it, but I need to figure it out.
Yeah.
I need to make peace with it. I think that's a key, too, when you're painting a wood piece of furniture, to make sure that you're really 100% sure you want to paint it. Now, you can always strip it down, but make sure, there's no rush. Just paint it when you're 100% ready. I got a buffet. It's a French provincial buffet from my parents. They bought it from an antique store when they were first married, and I love the piece. It's one of the only, I was thinking about this a couple days ago. I think it's the only piece that I have kept consistently for 10 years.
Wow.
I think everything else is new over 10 years. Now, new to me over 10 years. But yeah, I think it's the only one. So that speaks to how much I love it, that it's never been sold or given away to somebody else. But I felt for a while that I couldn't paint it because, it's this antique and I got it from my parents and all this stuff. And finally, my mom one day, she's like, oh, I don't care if you paint it. It's yours. It's fine. You can do whatever you want to. And that day, I painted it. That day, I was 100% sure. I had been dreaming about painting that piece. And I love it painted. It looks really good. So.
Well, Marian was talking to me a couple months ago about how people feel like when you paint a piece, you're kind of ruining the history of it. And the way she likes to think about it is you're not ruining it, but you're adding to it. And that just made me feel so empowered and when you're painting a piece, you're adding your own special touch to it. You're adding a part of history that's going to be there, for years to come. And I think that's a much better way of looking at it than thinking oh my goodness, I'm going to destroy this if I add, my own personal touch to it.
Right. I think I got really passionate when we were talking about it because I'm like, why does the history of a piece stop at 20 years ago or something, or 10 years ago? Where's the line?
Right.
Why can't I add to the history of the piece today? I love it when I find pieces that have where the carpenter has signed something in it or written down their notes about dimensions, or when you have a label on the back with a furniture company. So I feel like painting it or changing out the knobs, like that's just kind of adding another layer of history. So I think you're not doing yourself justice when you look at, okay, the history of the piece stopped at some point, and now all I'm doing to it is devaluing it or ruining it or whatever. So because in my mind, I mean, my whole business is based on the fact that I am adding value to a piece by painting it. I buy a piece that's unpainted, paint it, and then I sell it for more. So anyway, I think that I don't think it's a trend like we talked about. I think what is a trend maybe is what style of furniture you buy.
I would agree with that, definitely. Yeah. And I think also the way that people paint it, like with the whole like chippy kind of shabby chic look, like I would say that might be more of a trend that might go in and out. But I think the general like idea of painting furniture is,
we have like a few, like in the 90s, like everybody was like sponge painting stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, been there, done that.
A sponge painted dresser would have been like fabulous. And then, or like, you know, and now we'd be like,
stenciling.
That's right, the stenciled dressers. Yeah, and now I think that's a great thing, because now we're seeing stenciling again coming back, but in sort of a new way, like larger scale stencils that look like wallpaper, ones that are meant for furniture, so they look really great on drawer fronts or whatever. So yeah, I think trends just sort of evolve. So I don't think, again, I think there's always going to be people who are going to want to paint a piece of furniture and make it look better than it does. So anyway, those are our thoughts on painted furniture. We're fans of it.
Yes.
Not in every case. I do think there are pieces that shouldn't be painted. But if you own the piece and you want to paint it and you've been waffling about it, like, it's okay. We give you permission.
Definitely do it.
There you go. You have our permission. So thanks for liking and commenting this video. If you have a question or a space that you would like us to ramble about, we would love to do that. Hopefully there won't be a truck like doing whatever it was doing last time. And yeah, you can find us on all kinds of social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Are you on Twitter?
No, I'm really bad about that.
I'm just like automated on Twitter.
Really bad. I should be.
That. But I do Facebook and Instagram. I'm actually on those.
I'm apparently on Twitter.
Are you?
My best friend the other day, she's like, "Oh yeah, I follow you." I'm like,
what do I say?
I don't know. I guess whenever I blog, it like tweets that I
automatically
blog,
goes. Okay.
So
Kriste is on Twitter and she needs followers, I think. So anyway, so we'll see you next time. Of course, that truck.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I said I'm with it again.
She's with it.
I'm with This Must Just Be in my blog. Like that.
We tight.
Take two. Ugh. All right. Okay.
No, this is bad.
No, it's fine. That truck is. And yeah, I'm wearing sweatpants with my nice.
I have jeans on
top. I'm like dressed up from the waist up.
Rain boots on, but
so that truck. What in the world? Okay, so you're on Twitter.
I guess, I don't know.
I don't know. They're like sitting out there, like revving their engine. We're not impressed.
Just because I can. Dang it.